Well, let's go ahead and get started. Apologies for the delays, but now is the time to start the meeting. Good afternoon. The time is 3:12. I call to order the September 29th, 2021 special meeting of the Contractor State License Board. I'm Susan Granzella, CSLB's board chair. Board members, we will be using cameras during the meeting to mitigate any potential bandwidth issues. We ask that you turn off your video camera when you're not speaking. When you would like to comment during the meeting, please turn on your camera or select the raise your hand icon in the WebEx application. I will call on board members to speak. When called upon, please unmute yourself, and when finished, return to mute and turn off your camera. Shelley Jones is our host and moderator today. Also joining us is Registrar Dave Fote, Chief of Legislation Mike Jamnetsky, and our Board Legal Counsel Jason Hurtado. Also present for the meeting is DCA Deputy Director for Legal Affairs Ryan Marcroft, Supervising Deputy Attorney General Joshua Room, and Deputy Attorney General Carter Ott. Registrar Dave Fote, please confirm the board member attendance and call roll. We understand board member Nancy Springer and Frank Altamura have excused absences.
Thank you, Chair Granzella. David Delatorre.
Aye.
Susan Granzella.
Here.
Mary Tykert.
Here.
Kevin Albanese.
Here.
Rodney Kobos.
Here.
Miguel Galarza.
Here.
Don Giarratano. Do we have Don Giarratano?
Oh, here, sorry.
Diana Love.
Here.
Michael Mark.
Here.
Jim Ruane.
Here.
Johnny Simpson.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 2, which is for public comment and to request agenda items for future meetings. The board values public input as part of our consumer protection mission. To allow us enough time to conduct our full schedule of business today, I'm limiting public comments to 3 minutes apiece. If your comments don't involve an item on today's agenda, this would be the time where you can make them. There are a few other rules that apply. First, California law prohibits board members from discussing any matter brought up during public comment that is not on the agenda, and board members are not allowed to act on any item not on today's agenda. Second, if you want the board to discuss a topic not on the agenda, you can ask us to consider placing that issue on the agenda of a future meeting. Finally, if you have an application, complaint, disciplinary charges pending before the board, we ask that you not discuss the details of your case or pending complaint. That's because the board members may be judges and by law are not permitted to receive evidence or information that is not part of the administrative record of the case. Members of the public, if you are with us on WebEx and would like to make a comment, use the chat feature to send the host a note that you would like to offer a public comment. If you are joining us on the phone and would like to make a public comment, press *9. We will take any WebEx comments first, followed by telephone comments. We will use this same system for today's special meeting. You will find instructions on how to make public comments on the agenda for this meeting posted on our CSLB website. Board members, ask for comment. Please turn on your camera and raise your hand if you have an agenda item that you would like placed on a future meeting agenda. I do not see any. Is that true, Shelley?
That is correct. I do not see any either.
Okay. Shelley, please check to see if there are any members of the public who wish to address the board or offer a possible agenda item for a future meeting.
We have opened the Q&A panel. That is the chat area that we will utilize for public comment today. If you'd like to make a public comment on items not on today's agenda or offer a request for a future agenda item, you can click on that Q&A icon on your screen, which looks like a question mark inside of a square. You can type comment into the text box and then submit that to the host or panelists. You may also utilize our hand raise feature, and you can access that by hovering over your name and clicking on the hand icon that appears next to it. Right, looks like our first request for comment come from raised hands. First comment comes from calling user number 4. I'm sending a request to unmute your microphone. As a reminder, you will have 3 minutes, and I will be providing a 30-second reminder when your time is about to expire. And when I send the request, you can simply press the unmute me button at your end, and that will unmute your microphone. Again, call in user number 4. I'm sending a request to unmute your microphone as your hand is raised.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Hi.
You'll have,
I
go
can't
ahead,
tell
you
if
will have
I'm
3
on or
minutes.
not.
You
I'm
are.
unmuted?
You are,
Okay,
and you will
I'm
have 3
sorry.
minutes. That's okay.
Am I ready for comment?
You are.
Okay. It's very confusing, this system. My name is Davi Rodriguez. I am commenting about the speed and, or I should say, the slowness of a complaint, several complaints that I lodged with the board about illegal contracts. And this thing keeps interrupting me. Anyway, I made these complaints months ago, and it was basically about a city municipality spending hundreds of thousands of dollars hiring unlicensed contractors. Now, I have watched your videos of things that the board makes, and they issue citations right now. But these complaints that I've made have taken months, and they seem to be dragging their feet. And I gotta wonder why. I mean, I know that there are several political figures involved, and that has crossed my mind. I can't think of another reason, that it would be taking so long. And I'd like somebody to check into this, because it seems as though there's two paths to justice in the board's pursuit of these complaints. If they're doing this thing, they arrest the people right now, or they cite them right now. And if it's something larger than that, something different, and especially when it involves a municipality or something like that, it's I get this thing where they're saying, well, we're doing an investigation. You have to, look into this thing and find out what the heck is going on, because it shakes my confidence. And if I'm shaken, then I'm not going to tell other people to do this either. I mean, what's the point of making complaints about unlicensed contractors if there's two paths to justice there and it's not even? They'll arrest the small guy for, doing $5,000 of work, but when it's $240,000 worth of work that a city entity is paying, then, well, we're going to look at this, and they look at it hard. So, yes,
30 seconds.
I would appreciate something, the board looking into this matter. And I don't mean just the investigator. He gets back to me. I'll get that. I haven't heard from him for a while, but for Christ's sakes, it seems like, from his point of view, that he forwards it to the right authorities, and then it just goes dead. So please do something about this.
This is Dave Fote. If, Mr. Rodriguez, if you leave your contact information in the chat room, either I or one of my staff will contact you tomorrow and we'll research your concerns.
Our next comment comes from Martin Hertzfeld. Martin, I'm sending a request to unmute your microphone. As a reminder, you will have 3 minutes and I will provide a 30-second reminder.
Martin Hertzfeld. I'm a licensed contractor among other things. My comment is on from the past, July 27th. I suggest resending and restoring the solar contractor classification to its full vigor. I see no data in order to substantiate the decision, specifically in the codes, including the international codes too as well. And I do suggest a correlation between Business and Professions Code 7109.5 and the OSHA catastrophes and fatalities summaries as well. So again, I guess that's it.
Thank you. And with that, I do not see any other requests for comment. Would you like me to close the panel?
For now, yes.
It is closed.
Good. Thank you. We're now moving on to agenda item number 3, finding of necessity for special meeting. As you know, the board has convened a special meeting today to discuss a pending litigation matter on which the board must take immediate action. California's Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act requires that the Contractors State License Board to make a finding regarding the necessity of holding a special meeting and the waiver of the usual 10 days advance notice requirement for board meetings. The finding must be made at the commencement of the board's meeting and provide specific facts to support the finding. Failure to adopt the finding terminates today's special meeting. If this occurs, the board will be prohibited from moving into closed session to meet and confer with legal counsel to discuss the pending litigation. The finding must be adopted by 2/3 of the board members or by unanimous vote of the members if less than 2/3 are present. I ask for a motion to adopt the following finding. The board finds that providing 10 days advance notice of this meeting would pose a substantial hardship on the board and that immediate action is required to protect the public interest. In that on September 28th, 2021, the plaintiffs in the lawsuit that will be discussed in closed session filed a motion for a preliminary injunction against the board. The board must respond to the motion by October 7th, 2021, which is less than 10 days from today. If the board had to wait 10 days to meet about the pending litigation, it would be deprived of the ability to timely confer with counsel, discuss legal options, deliberate and adopt its position in response to the pending litigation, including providing direction to counsel regarding the board's response to the plaintiff's motion for a preliminary injunction. This would be detrimental to the board's litigation position in the lawsuit, and it would harm the public, which has an interest in the board adequately conferring with counsel and timely responding to litigation filed against it. The board's next quarterly meeting is planned for December 2021, approximately 2 months after the deadline for the board's response to the preliminary injunction motion. In light of the pending litigation, including the pending motion response deadline, there is insufficient time for the board to provide 10 days advance notice of the meeting, and today's meeting with shortened notice is proper. So can I have a motion to adopt the finding of necessity for today's special meeting as read to you?
Jim Ruane, so moved.
Second, David Del Torre.
Are there any questions from the board members? Seeing none at this. Shelley, are there any public comments?
If you'd like to make a public comment on this motion, you may utilize that Q&A feature by clicking on the Q&A icon and typing comment into the text box, and then submitting that to myself or our panelists. You may also raise your hand by locating that hand raise icon next to your name. And at this time, I'm not seeing any requests for comment.
Thank you, Shelley. David, please call roll on this. On the motion.
David Delatorre,
Aye.
Susan Granzella,
Aye.
Mary Tykert,
Aye.
Kevin Albanese,
Aye.
Rodney Kobos,
Aye.
Miguel Galarza,
Aye.
Don Giarratano,
Aye.
Diana Love,
Aye.
Michael Mark,
Aye.
Jim Ruane,
Aye.
Johnny Simpson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have now reached our closed session agenda item related to the matter of the California Solar Energy Industries Association versus Contractor State License Board. This will be our last item for the day. This item is not available for viewing by the public. After the closed session, we will briefly reconvene in open session and adjourn for the day. However, due to technological limitations, adjournment will not be broadcast. Adjournment will immediately follow closed session under item 5, and there will be no other items of business discussed. We will now move into closed session. I now ask that the public and any non-essential staff to sign off, and ask that the webcast and phone meeting be turned off.